Hey guys, have you ever wondered how to actually work with real estate agents? Well, in this video, we're going to cover the 3 roles that real estate agents play when helping you sell your property. Hey, it's Dana here with Real Estate with Love, where we make real life real estate real simple. I'm a licensed real estate broker and CEO of Dana Blanks Real Estate here in North Carolina. So if you're planning a move to the Wilmington, North Carolina area, hit me up and let's have a chat. Although I'm licensed in 3 states, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, I primarily work here in the state of North Carolina, where I've been selling real estate for over 15 years. While the principles are generally the same, you want to check with your state because there may be some small differences that you need to be aware of. So check with your local realtor. Now, let's jump right to it. There was a lot of you that do like my husband and I used to do many years ago, which is go visit the model home in a shiny new construction neighborhood. We were poor back then and big dreamers, so the only way we got to see a really nice home was to go see these models. If you're new here and have ever viewed the model home in a new construction neighborhood and had a nice little chat with the on-site agent, comment yes or sure have in the comments below. Now, if my husband and I were really serious about purchasing one of those homes, we would have been going about it all wrong and for a lot of different reasons. But for the purposes of this video, let's stick with the basics, and that is this. The on-site agent represents the seller, and that simple fact has already put you, the buyer, at a potential disadvantage, and that is because of one simple word: agency. Now, agency, simply put, is the identification of what role your real estate agent is assuming in the representation of you in this transaction. There are 3 different kinds of representation, and they're pretty self-explanatory: the seller's agent, the buyer's agent, and the dual agent. They are just like they sound. The seller's agent, also known as the listing agent, also known as the agent whose name is on the sign in the yard, represents the seller and works in the best interest of the seller and only the seller. Alternatively, the buyer's agent represents the buyer and works in the best interest of the buyer and only the buyer. The dual agent, just like it sounds, represents both parties, and in that capacity, they become more of an educator and less of an advocate, advisor, or negotiator. In other words, they don't provide their opinion that could harm the negotiating position of the buyer or the seller, but instead they provide each party with all of the information they need to make an informed decision all on their own. One example of this would be when it comes to pricing. So since pricing a home is primarily based on what other similar properties in the neighborhood have sold for, a dual agent will provide recent sales information for both the buyer and the seller, so each will have a pretty good idea of what a fair property for that price for that property would be. Now, back to our model home example and why it puts us at a disadvantage. The on-site agent represents the seller. Put simply, this means anything that you say can and will be used against you during negotiations. Why? Because that person does not represent you. They have been hired to work with the builder or developer in that neighborhood. So they're working in their best interest, not yours. So if you walk in there and show excitement over how much you love the house and blurt out that you've been pre-qualified to $400,000 and you need to purchase right away because you want your child to be in place by the time school starts, what would that say to a seller's agent, in which maybe they have just had a conversation with the owner or with their client about having a price reduction? Say they were going to reduce it to $375, but they hadn't yet announced the reduction. Well, that's just a cool $25,000 savings that you just blew with the information that you just gave them, because they're going to write that offer up with the $400,000 and that'll be that. So hey, if you stuck around to the end of this video, then you are well on your way to learning how we work. And if I've said anything that you think that you can use in your journey to real estate, to owning real estate, then go ahead and hit that like button, rate, and subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified of whenever we upload any new video so you can learn even more about what real estate agents actually do. That's it for now. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.